They are ongoing. I know of some of the cities around us in their recreation departments. We're all different kind of in how we do things. I know some do have end dates or they will have contracts that last, 3 years and then you have to renew. But for us, it is ongoing. With transitioning, I would say I talked before about how changes always happen. And I would say again that it is all very fluid and it is all through open communication, no matter the transition, whether they're just beginning or even ending, and communicating back and forth and saying, like, okay, this is the kind of plan that we can have. Um, and what do you need from us to help you best in this transition?
Hmm. Are all the organizations that you're partnered with, have they been around for like a long time, or have they kind of come and gone?
I would say there's a good mix. We have a few that just started last year. I have one instructor who they had taught for us, I want to say 8 years ago, well before I was on board. And we have just renewed that partnership again this year. Um, Sometimes timings just don't work. Staffing with some organizations has been a struggle as well. And so I am completely understandable of if you need some time away for a couple seasons, even with the ones that are just members of our community. Things happen, emergencies, vacations, even, you have to take some time for yourself. Um, we like to give, um, as much flexibility as we can.
Yeah,
That
sounds
way
like
it makes the transitions a lot easier.
yeah, sounds like you guys do things on like good terms. That's good.
Yeah. Most of I say most as if there's a lot. There's really only been a few. um, it typically happens when we are looking towards our next guide, and or even especially now after COVID, there have been a few that have been unable to return, either because of moving away, or finding a different job, things like that. Life gets really busy. Um, and so that's where that open dialogue is really helpful. And they can come to me and let me know, hey, I don't think I'll be able to continue teaching anymore. And of course, that's, yeah, you do you.
Yeah.
That I think that's really helpful with how our partnerships are ongoing. There's no set in stone of, okay, well, in our contract, it says you have to keep teaching for another 2 years. Um, that can be very difficult.
Yeah.
And so when that, the time comes for certain partnerships to end or take a hiatus, um, they just let us know and I set their file aside because you never know, they could come back. Um, and we do our best to see what other partnerships we can form to help fill that gap that is created once they leave. Um, Especially with youth sports is a very popular, um, I would say, activity around here. And so a lot of our youth sports partnerships have been very long running, but there have been, like the one that just started recently, he had left for a little while and then was able to return. And so looking to see what other partnerships we can form to fill those needs that the community have in the meantime.
Yeah. Do you guys have like a way to measure how many partnerships are needed for a certain, thing, like, like you said, like sports or whatever it might be?
Nothing necessarily measurable. We have had surveys go out in the past. Of course, there's always the struggle of how many people are going to respond to our survey and what kinds of biases there might be. Um, and so a lot of information that we have is based on our enrollment numbers. Again, if people are filling the brims of all of our sports classes, okay, maybe we should offer, a few more different sports. Nothing that would immediate directly conflict with our existing programs, but other things that might help supplement or for different age groups, things like that.